Welcome, Pisces. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, getting ready to do your new moon in Virgo solar eclipse reading. This is the second new moon in Virgo, thus the solar energy is focusing in the same way that it was in the last month, but in between these two new moons has been a lunar eclipse. So we are on the final leg, but a middle phase of the eclipse season involving Virgo and Pisces. This is a window of intense scrutiny regarding your partnerships, and the Death card as your overall energy is describing the way that you are restructuring this energy in your life. This card is telling me that you are releasing some old paradigm, version. Mostly it is something that has been externally or socially constructed, but you are in a place where you recognize the inner or the familial conditioning that has led to or resisted this conventional, traditional way of viewing deeper connections in your life. You are building this as the result of your instinct, your natural desire to build something that more authentically reflects your truth and your justice. Underneath the deck, the Four of Cups. And this is about perhaps you having been on a path. You have been on a path of practical magic, I like to call it. And that is where you allow your emotions and feelings about your experience, who you are, to lead you, guide you. You've done everything that you were supposed to do. And yet you have an opportunity that you are considering that may not fit in, an opportunity that you until previously hadn't seen or appreciated. And this seems like an opportunity to get away from something routine, habitual, humdrum, that is evoking a sense of restlessness, boredom, dissatisfaction, that what you worked for hasn't added up in the way that you believed it would. You expected some different outcome from your actions that were incremental, they were careful, they were built upon real personal desire and support that was available to you. But you are now structuring something very different for yourself, something that reflects you and you alone. And Pisces, you have the gift of flowing. You have the gift of seeing connections where others don't see those connections. But you're in a place of surrendering the need for an answer because you have become aware that as you take steps, authentic, deliberate steps towards your desire, your vision, your potential, that the answer is within you, that you're creating the answer as you move forward. For the crystal oracle, I pulled the azurite, and the key words are expanded awareness. My awareness is expanding with an abundance of clarity. Don't know that there's much more I can say about that, except one of the visions that I received in my meditation before this reading was, first there was something that looked like an everyday Eye of Horus. And this is then encircled by a beautiful mandala-like sun. And that sun then elevates itself to the crown of a peacock in much the way that the peacock has a small orb of feathers that surrounds its head. So there is a whole lot in there that I will briefly unpack because that image may have meaning for you, but it is definitely about this way in which you are elevating your own sense of value for yourself. You're putting yourself in the center of something that you've seen yourself as peripheral to, or certainly as a critical factor, but not as in the center. And you're now understanding that you must be central in this reorganizing, this reframe that you are endeavoring right now. I am going to look at the 10th house card. This is the way others see you and your desire to move, advance yourself socially, your ambition. The Knight of Swords shows you looking for more information, information gathering, data sharing, communicating about that, having presentations, speaking about that may involve the work that you do, but this is not on the face of it the sole purpose of your efforts. The purpose behind your efforts is the way in which you are exploring and researching a new direction, a new endeavor, a new opportunity to express what you know. And that resonates with your own spiritual values as well as your understanding of what the world needs of you. And this feels very much like a way in which you may be refashioning the tools of communication in your work. You may be facilitating interviews, conversations, dialogues, a discourse even, in which you are a player. I don't see you leading these, but I see you participating in these. And part of that is the unpacking of your own dissatisfaction, your sense of awareness that you've done what was right for you. You've allowed yourself to be guided by your intuition and your emotions. And you are, that is leading you to a place of understanding the limits of what you know and the desire now to learn more, to observe, to take notes. In the first house, the Ace of Swords. This is beautiful. So you are revolving, you are revolving around a new awareness. This is a new truth about yourself, about the world. This is a revelation about what is important to you and what leads to your sense of balance and justice. In fact, justice is the way you're seeing yourself. And it's interesting because I'm getting a spiritual warrior energy from this card, that you're leaning forward. This actually feels like something that would be a necessary tool for a charismatic teacher. And this is you putting out your words, your message, your communications in a way that is arresting for others, that allows them to understand a fundamental truth that they perhaps have been overlooking or perhaps has been masked by other conditioning or social experiences in the world. But you are exposing something, not least of all yourself. So this feels like you're finding the source of a mystery. In the fourth house of your home, your family, your soul, your foundation, the Four of Wands is beautiful confirmation that you have built something for your community, for your partners, in partnership that celebrates your growth and the growth of others. This feels, again, there's a big teaching energy I'm getting here. If not teaching, then facilitating conversations, giving advisement, consulting, meeting and networking through the work that you do and bringing those connections into a solid team that creates opportunities in the world and brings that wisdom back for further growth and evolution of this circle, this team or community. In the 7th house, the house of significant others, the King of Cups. This is one of your cards. This is your emotional maturity. This is interesting because I do see you as standing alone, standing in your own heart space. And this is not to deny that you are looking to better understand your need for connection, specifically in a more traditional sense, the need for a partner. And perhaps you are recognizing that a traditional bond or one that looks like a traditional or conventional relationship is not a need that you have right now, that you're busy working on your own internal understanding of your own vulnerability. That vulnerability is the strength that helps you to see the connection between others and ideas, between yourself and everything else that you can identify connection with, that you're prioritizing that connectivity itself as a way of healing the sense of dissatisfaction you've experienced, of healing the sense of restlessness that is about your experience currently after having taken all the right steps, made all the right moves. And instead, you find yourself moving into a place where it is that sense of wholeness within you that you are seeking to restructure so that you are better able to create the community that empowers you, that fuels your creativity, that supports that celebrates that. If this reading is resonating for you, please like this video. Please share this with others if you feel inclined to do so, and subscribe to my channel, Pacific Tarot. I'm going to clarify the Ace of Swords here in the 1st house with the Tower and the High Priestess. Wow. Okay, so there is some real consequence to the truth that you are experiencing or that you are channeling and providing to others. In some ways, the aspect of teaching is highlighted and supported by your own sense of reclaiming a position as a reflector, as someone who has the capacity to evaluate experiences from the past and the current experience in a way that reshapes your idea of the future. The Tower is the consequence of the collapsing institutions. Perhaps it's collapsing relationships in your immediate world that is helping you to understand the truth underneath that, the opportunity to pursue justice, to establish justice in a new way. The truth of the collapsing institution or foundation is something that is an opportunity you recognize. It's an opportunity for truth, and you're holding that wisdom within you as a way of leveraging that to have an impact on your environment in a way that you choose, not in a way that is dictated by unpredictable or disruptive events around you. In the 4th house, the 4 of Wands is clarified by the 6 of Swords and the Magician. There is a way that you are healing something actively. You're moving to perhaps create a sense of support among a community of collaborators that you're a part of. You are understanding that the solution to perhaps the chaos or the energy that you invest in finding an opening in various communities or opportunities that come your way are best directed towards something that you're building on your own in collaboration with others as a way of coping with the things that aren't working in a situation that may be dominating your life. It may be an experience of something crashing, burning, falling apart, the passing of someone important, a transition you're experiencing that allows you to shift into a more productive environment. In this productive environment, you are not necessarily the weather vane that I believe you are currently operating as. All information kind of comes through you, and then you are able to disseminate that, share that with others in a way that they maybe don't always understand, but they trust you. Here you understand that you can't keep operating that way and to have the impact that you want to have. And so your ability to heal that, to move away, to accept that this chaos needed to be here to get you to a much more peaceful and productive place. In the seventh house, the King of Cups is clarified by the Knight of Pentacles and the Eight of Wands. Yeah, you're all about building out the plan, putting the steps in place, wanting to understand next steps, inviting in others that are aligned with you. Lots of opportunities and attention you're receiving is part of what is helping you to feel the support that you are grounding in community with collaborators. This is almost like you and colleagues opening up the doors to new ideas as you put together a plan, a place for you to hold the energy of the invitations that you are being included in. I see lots of new desire for others to include you, in part because of something you're able to build. Perhaps this is a communication tool, an evaluation or assessment of an organization or an opportunity. This may be part of the consultation that others seek from you, ways that you can compare and contrast what an organization, a department, or an entity is engaged in that compares with their allies, their competitors, others that are doing something the same. So there is this interesting push and pull between your own vision of clarity, ability to cut to the chase and identify the source, and the needs of others that are increasingly seeing what you can do independent of what you are building as part of a team. And this really does feel like a business, a personal business of your own, that you have used your connections with other institutions, some of which are not institutions that have served you, but that are not set up to serve others in an ongoing way, and where you see the opportunity to help others to make that transition, to advise them in ways that don't depend on the conventional tools of the trade. In the 10th house, the Knight of Swords is clarified by the Eight of Swords and the Three of Wands. I feel the anxiety. I feel the overthinking, the overanalysis, because I look at what you are doing, how you're trying to correlate your own personal growth and spiritual alignment with the opportunities that you have in a very chaotic time. During a time of major institutional transition, you're finding a toehold and you're finding a community to do that with. but there are so many disparate parts to your efforts that you are really focused on, I believe, not only the need to stay in constant communication, but a way in which you are looking at next steps and trying not to overthink, or you're releasing, trying to surrender the big vision that you have already internalized. You have that. That's what allowed you to surrender old ideas and behaviors, patterns that were no longer serving you in the past. But that now the focus in putting together this business, this enterprise, this community or collaboration, you need to identify the next steps while you juggle the other offers and invitations that are coming your way. It's very exciting energy. This feels very powerful to me. Did I forget to read a crystal oracle for you? I might have. Did I read expanded awareness? Well, I'm picking another one because it just seemed important to me. And I pulled the Pneumite, and the key word is strength. I'm strong in body, mind, and spirit. I love this. So your expanded awareness is supported by your personal strength, and that strength is underlined by positive karma that you've built up in your life, the perseverance to do the right thing and to help others to do the right thing. That's one of the things that's coming to you. And I pulled from the Soul's Journey Oracle deck forgiveness. I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. This is powerful. Peaceful Pisces is not one we ordinarily identify with as angry or intensely assertive. However, many of you have other placements in your chart that can translate as fire. Particularly the signs on either side of Pisces are quite likely integrated into your individual chart as well. So, for instance, I'm a Capricorn. I have a lot of Sagittarius in my chart. That's an example. This is really speaking about the clarity of your communications overall, your willingness to understand that things that you've released, you have surrendered with love. You are not paying back unkindness or injustice with like, but instead you heal yourself primarily and others with the love, the forgiveness that you offer. You understand this is for you. This is so that you do not harbor negative feelings, emotions, intentions towards others, a very tool in which we block and restrict ourselves. So you're working on multiple levels here, and this is what the strength allows you to do. The strength that allows you to rise above the petty crap and actually understand and see the bigger picture. If you've enjoyed this reading and this content, there's more content here for you to check out. Thank you for your likes and your subscribes. And until next time, Pisces, namaste.